Here are the chords for Take Me Home Country Roads by John Denver. We have a G chord, and if you'd like, you can use the simplified G chord, which is placing your third finger on the third fret of the E string, string number 1, and strumming strings 4, 3, 2, and 1, like that. Or we could do any sort of modified G chords, like we could do this G chord, which is middle finger, second finger goes on the third fret of the E string, which is string number 6, and then strumming all 6 strings. The 5th string is going to be dampened by my second finger just angled slightly so that it's hitting the A string, that 5th string, so that that string will not vibrate when I play the rest of the string. So the chord ends up being like this. We don't actually hear that note because I'm dampening the string with my finger, this one. Or if you want to try the full G chord, you can place your second finger on the third fret of the E string, which is string number 6, third finger on the third fret of the high E string, which is string number 1, and your first finger on the second fret of the A string, which is string number 5, and you would strum all 6 strings. E minor, second finger on the second fret of the A string, which is string number 5, third finger on the second fret of the D string, which is string number 4, and then you strum all 6 strings. The D chord, your first finger is going to go on the second fret of the G string, which is string number 3, your second finger on the second fret of the E string, which is string number 1, and your third finger on the third fret of the B string, which is string number 2. And for this one, you'll strum strings 4, 3, 2, 1. And then the C chord, and you can use the modified C chord with your first finger on the first fret of the B string, string number 2, and strum strings 3, 2, and 1. Or if you would like to try the full C chord, you can play that by placing your third finger on the third fret of the A string, string number 5, your second finger on the second fret of the D string, string number 4, and your first finger on the first fret of the B string, string number 2, and strumming strings 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, we have the F chord. Now the F chord can be played 3 different ways I'm going to show you. Option 1, which is the simplest, taking your first finger and putting it on the first fret of the B string and dampening the E string by letting your finger just drop a little bit so it touches that E string so it doesn't vibrate. Kind of like we did in the G chord. And then you take your second finger and put it on the second fret of the G string, string number 3, and your third finger and put it on the third fret of the D string, string number 4. And you're going to strum strings 4, 3, 2, and then the first string You can graze over it. It's not going to ring because you have it dampened. That's one way to play the F chord. Another way is to take that first finger and actually bar the first fret at the B and the E string, string number 2 and 1. And to create a bar, you're going to take that finger and put it down over both strings and press. And I use the side of my finger a little bit so I can get a little bit more weight into the finger. And there's what that sounds like with my finger pressing down both the B and the E string. And then I can add my fingers the way I had them in option 1. My second finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, string number 3. And my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the D string, string number 4. And I would strum all 4 strings, strings 4, 3, 2, 1. Like that. Now the full F chord uses a full bar, which can be tricky. You're going to take the first finger and bar at the 1st fret, pushing down all the strings from the low E, string number 6, to the high E, string number 1. The important notes that you want to get are that that's what it would sound like without my fingers down with a full bar. Your second finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the G string, string number 3. Your 3rd finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of the A string, string number 5. And your 4th finger is going to go on the 4th fret of the D string, string number 4. And you're going to strum all 6 strings. The last chord is the D7 chord. You can play that by placing your first finger on the 1st fret of the B string, string number 2, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, string number 3, and your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, string number 1. And you would strum 4 strings, string number 4, 3, 2, and 1. Like that. This song is performed with the capo on the 2nd fret. Which would put the melody in a very low spot for my voice. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. It doesn't really work there for me, so I'm going to change it so it fits my voice, and I'm going to put my capo up to the 5th fret. As you practice this, play on beat 1 of each measure. So you're going to play on 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost heaven, West Virginia, 1, 2, mountain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be the feel for it, just starting out. So you can practice the chord changes. So it might go something like this. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, growing like a breeze. Country roads take me home, country roads. When you get comfortable with that, then you can play maybe on every beat. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads. Now, as you get a little bit more advanced, I would probably put in like a bass strum feel with maybe some eighth notes in the right hand, so it would turn into something like this. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountain, growing like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads. That's another lesson. So you'll notice that in my example, I only went over the verse, the first verse, and the chorus. And at the beginning of the video, we did talk about the F chord and the D7 chord. Well, luckily, the F chord and the D7 chord don't happen until we get to the bridge of the song. So the bridge, I hear her voice in the morning as she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Country roads. And it goes into the chorus again one last time. So that was me strumming on every beat. If we strum using like a half note feel, we can make it a little bit easier. I hear her